This program was created to allow you to learn the trig functions. You can download it from www.tacufine.com. The way it works is you can get the questions that you want to answer as you work through the program, and down here it tells you, it gives you a list of different things that you can pull up that will help you remember the functions. So we're looking for sine of pi over 6. Pretty easy in this case because it's 30-degree angle, pi over 6. And the things that you want to remember, to remember all the functions, are these numbers in the rectangles and this diagram here. Pi over 6 is equal to the 30 degrees. And to find the sine of 30 degrees, you can use this diagram. It'll also help you with the 60-degree angles. So to find the sine of 30 degrees, you would draw out this diagram, 1, 2, square root of 3, and draw an arrow going up, another arrow going up, and another arrow going away from the angle. And it would start out sine here, cosine here, tan here. Same as the order in the math books. And the arrow always points toward the denominator, so the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2, 1 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees would be square root of 3 over 2. Tan of 30 degrees would be 1 over the square root of 3. If we were doing the 60, as you can see, it's a different color. Sine starts over here, so it'd be the sine of 60 would be square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 60 would be 1/2, and the tan of 60, the arrow points the opposite direction, would be square root of 3 over 1. The benefit of remembering these numbers is that they occur in the pi form of the angle, and they're also just multiples of 30. And 5 times 3 is 15. Add a 0, you got the angle there. 7 times 3 is 21. Add a 0, you got the angle there. 11 times 30 is 330. Works same way up here. 2, 4, 5. 2 times 60, 120. And the order that these are is on each angle is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And then the quadrant 1s are always inside the triangle. You can also use these, and it gives you the instructions on how to use this. I won't get into it. You can look at it later. It's not really that important, but it can be very useful for tying the functions to the actual triangle. If you have this, you have the sine, cosine, and tan all together. And of course you're going to want to remember these. Alright, and for a 45-degree angle, it's going to differ, and 357 for the angle. So anything in the rectangles is really the most important things to remember, because they will help you get back to the actual function that you're trying to remember. This is the third chart, and there's only 3 of these type of charts that you have to remember. Starting at 0 degrees, you'd go 0, 1, 1. And notice that on every one of these charts, the arrows always point in the same direction. And it always starts with sine, cosine from the angle that you're doing. So there's a definite pattern here that's easy to remember. One of the other things that I haven't mentioned, though, is that if you want to get the cofunction of any of these, say if you want the cosecant of this right here, all you have to do is reverse the arrow. And it works the same way on every chart. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. The tip of the arrow always points toward the denominator. The easy way to remember that is that you can form a D from that part of the arrow. And then just remember that if you reverse the arrow, you'll get the cosecant here, the secant here, and the cotan here. And that pretty much covers the program. Don't forget, you can download it at www.tacufine.com.